it stops idiots like me coming to the bank when I'm starting off, asking them to do something that they're not set up to do. You know, and then being really disappointed and angry with them for asking them to take a venture risk and they're not a venture factor. You know, and then we've got such a myriad of choices now. We'll take that risk a little bit more easily.
So it's a very generous view.
But I think in any kind of downturn or recession,
I didn't have a house to put it. I'd sold it already.
I think creativity is always on the increase when you're in a recession or downturn, and you find these kind of alternative things happening. And I think you're right as well. I think it's very easy just to go to the bank and say, give us X amount of money, but actually this makes you kind of really look at different alternatives.
In terms of benefiting yourself, Simon, looking for funding, I mean, Simon's obviously told you about, the reason he's here tonight is because I asked him to come along, because I think he's a great example of a business that I've dealt with recently. But in your case, did you sort of get much sort of professional sort of input and support, or did you very much sort of drive it yourself and the process?
I mean, well, for me, we did and didn't really. I suppose I visited Set Squared, which was sort of an incubator, and we got some sort of help there. We didn't pay for any help, and I think that we were fortunate enough, and I'm grey enough to have been around a little bit, so I had a little bit of experience prior to setting the business up. So no, I didn't go down that route. I think that I just naively set off thinking it can't be that difficult, and then if somebody will take a meeting with me, I'll have a conversation. But it was a very naive approach, but it involved a lot of work and a lot of luck. And that's I think the bit that's you do need a lot of luck.
You do, yeah. But having said that, I suppose if you did at least go to Set Squared initially, and you said you approached a number of the angel investor networks, and even if you then had to decide which ones am I prepared to pay some money to, or you didn't do that, they all tend to have a sort of an investment readiness type sort of process that.
Yeah, I think the difficulty though, however, is if you talk to a sort of a very wide range of investors, and you're a technology business, you might as well, for 80% of the audience, 95% of the audience, you're just wasting your time and their time. And I think that actually, the thing that I learned very, very quickly was to qualify the audience that you're going to be doing your pitch to. And if frankly, they're not interested in tech, they're not going to get excited about the vision or the value proposition. And it's sort of,
if they don't understand technology and not into that, they're not going to put some risk money into it, are they?
Exactly, or even whether that's an institution or whether that's an individual.
Am I right in saying that the different angel networks are, by reputation, some are more specialist, or some have more focus on technology or other particular sectors than others? Whereas I think I recall that when we did our funding, the network that we went to was more within that, within the technology sector. I seem to recall.
You can definitely, and I think as I say, the bit that I present is the paid pitch sort of mentality, and I don't know whether that still exists, but I think when you least can afford it, being asked to fund.
That literally paying to pitch. You have to pay some money before you can go in front of the investor.
Yeah.
A lot of angel investor groups kind of approached me as a new startup business, said we need at least £800 to £1,000.
It's not untypical. I mean, you mentioned Swain, and I know quite a bit about Swain because we do work reasonably well. Business West, we do actually. Swain is part of our sort of offering, and I probably will work more closely with them going forward. But typically, it is about £750, something like that.
Yeah.
And you start adding that up. It's a small startup, to go into half a dozen different angel networks, and you can blow a lot of money. And if you presented these forms, there's absolutely no guarantee that somebody's going to give you a check at the end of the process.
Yeah, I think there are other opportunities. Certainly, in the tech space, there's lots of opportunities to present. Whether it's a local network. We just come from one today over at the engine shed. All these people presenting. It's so there's plenty of other communities where you can get presentations in front of investors without paying for it.
And I think that's really important actually, because I've got friends and colleagues who are looking to do the same and startup at the moment, and they're all looking to pay to kind of pitch in front of somebody. And I know Mike's not paying me to say this, but basically the Business West and has just been invaluable as a startup business for me. My background obviously isn't in the kind of business side of stuff, it's more in the kind of healthcare and kind of medicine side, but it's kind of really helped me with the business plans. It's helped me, as you said, the executive summary, which is invaluable, which is just a 2-page quick kind of overview. Also the financial forecasts, the P&L and all that kind of stuff. It's just been, for me, it's exactly what you need to get business going.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's when I first met someone, I mean, his sort of ability to really be passionate about his company and his products and services came across straight away, but helping him just to sort of hone that into giving himself the best chance of being successful in terms of pitching for things like the regional growth fund. I mean, I remember reviewing the first draft we had of that, but it did what we wanted it to do.
And that is a specific skill. That's something that we did apply for grants, but we were absolutely rubbish at filling forms out. I thought sort of get bored halfway through, and then ended up being rubbish at the end. And then we got refused for everything. Having said that, now we've created sort of 40 jobs in the UK. But that was us being idiots.